Almost there. There it is. Okay, well, hi, I'm Hannah. This is post 8. We are group number 3.
Cool.
Ready, go.
All right.
So you guys said the video was an hour long?
Yeah. Let's start there.
Okay. One thing I want to talk about with the video was towards like it wasn't like the end of the video, but it was like a little after, like halfway through, when it was like all the parents talking about it at like those meetings. And every single parent was like, I don't like want my kids to be doing this. They need to just be learning English. They're speaking, Spanish or speaking Mandarin like too many, or too long of the day, and it's hurting all their other, the subjects that they're supposed to be learning. But I guess it was just like, I don't know. It's just, I felt like the teachers weren't. I mean, maybe they just didn't show it, but I don't know why the teachers weren't like, you're wrong.
Yeah.
It's not hurting them. Like, there's clear evidence, like research saying it helps them, makes not only like them stronger in both languages, but it doesn't affect like the other learning that they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it was really interesting, that part.
Yeah.
Where the parents felt like they didn't want their own kids learning their own language in an American school.
Yeah, and they were all giving these like reasons why, but like all the reasons why were like not even true. They were just completely false. But I guess it's and it seemed like there were a couple instances where people tried to explain to them like that's not the case. Like this is why it's important, and people are just like, well, I don't know.
They just get stuck in their ways.
Like,
I think it's just that like American mentality, like only English is the best, like this is the worldwide language.
Yeah, they think it's it's seen as the key to success.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they were like that. They want their kids to be successful, more successful than they were, so they have to learn English, and then they can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy, guys.
I think that's just a big misconception, though. Like, if my student's learning a different language, then they're not gonna be able to learn English correctly, And I don't know. I think that's just like a really like dated way of thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when there was that family was at dinner and the grandma was saying why like they should only be learning English, and her son was like, "You're wrong.
Yeah.
Like, we live in a globalized society, and if we're gonna compete with other countries, we have to be able to communicate with those other countries."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, I've lived in America my whole life, and so is my mother and her mother before her." And that was it. That was like her point. I was like,
You survived. You survived. You're saying you lived.
I don't know. I feel like that's gonna be the rough thing now. A difficult part. I think that's like times changing as well, because you said grandma, so I'm picturing someone old. And we were talking about, what was I talking about this with? I don't remember. I think it was you guys. I think we were talking about it. We're like, I don't know. It was in one of my 3 multicultural classes, so I'm sorry. I don't remember who I was speaking about this with.
Who else are you talking about race too?
Yeah, other friends besides us.
Is that like the baby boomers are still around, and they're still pushing for their ways of life, where they had, like the wars where they were putting people in camps and like that kind of stuff, and you still have that influence, and you have now the millennials and like the new generations coming in, like fighting different ways and trying to build a bigger like community and stuff. All the baby boomers are like, no, you're wrong.
It's because we're woke. That's what it is. Like 100%. Like we know. Like grandma sit down.
I was watching Zootopia last night, and I was like, that's woke. Like
the whole movie
just
woke.
all the whole. But yeah, it's sort of that part in the film where the parents were like, there was those couple parents that were upset. It reminded me of like a conversation we had in our multicultural ed class. When we were doing our lit circles, Jessica was talking to us because we were asking her about her experience as a principal, and she was like, you're not gonna make everybody happy. And there was once where she says it was like the best moment she had in her career, where they were doing a like school-wide party for this girl who was terminally ill, and she made it to 12, and she was turning 12 on December 12th, 2012.
Wow.
And so they're like, we're going to do a party. But it went against the school's policy of no birthday parties. And like Jessica was assistant principal, and she had a bunch of parents coming up to her pissed about that. And they're like, and there was one parent who just kept on saying, like, it's not fair. And Jessica finally stopped and was like, you know what, it's not fair. But it's also not fair that when you put your kid to bed every night, you don't have to worry about whether or not they're going to wake up in the morning. And it's just like, it sort of reminded me of just like, you can't make everybody happy. But it's like, as long as you stick with those facts, like the facts that they presented in that video, then you'll be fine.
Yeah. Show them the studies. You just got to show them
Yeah.
research.
Yeah.
It's just our job to do what's best for the students. And if that's like teaching them different languages, then like I think we should. Because parents aren't gonna know what's best because they don't like have the education that we do. We are taught how to teach these students best. So I don't know. That's something I'm kind of scared of. Just kind of like trying to convince parents who don't want to be convinced.
Well, not only that, like Jessica was saying, you're gonna love it fast, by the way.
Oh, it's so good.
We're talking about the first floor with Jessica Stone that you're gonna take this summer. Yeah. She was also saying that when you look from a parent perspective, you're looking out for your one child. When you're looking from a teacher perspective, you're looking for every single child. So it's just a different point of view.
Yeah.
So I think that parents don't understand that it's a different point of view. And so that's why I think that it's really important that we as teachers understand that they're looking at it from a different point of view. But also at the same time, don't be like, oh, you're so right. But just, like being aware of different points of view, I guess. So.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I don't want to go into my first year of teaching being that teacher that has like boxing gloves on, like going to the parents,
I'm ready.
going to
I got this.
fight me, like
That's how I'm going to PE next quarter.
try me. Just because like, and it's not because I don't want to stand for something. It's just because like, I don't know. I know that if I do that, I won't like be in a place where I can actually listen to them and hear where they're coming from. But it's like, it's trying to find that balance between like hearing where they're coming from, but also standing up for what you believe in and what you think is right for the students. It's like you were saying, it's like you want to put your own kids in a dual language program. And I totally do too, because I feel like it's right for the students and it gives them a lot of benefits. So it's like when those parents come up and they're like, this isn't right. It's like, I don't know. How do you combat that without like completely
disregarding their opinion?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ask them questions like, do you want your child to have better opportunities? Do you want them to be able to communicate?
But then they're gonna come back with, well, if they know English, they'll be successful in life, Like there is
no response to that.
Yeah.
They're an idiot, Like what else is there?
nope.
That's what I was worried about. Like having these parents come up with such backwards mentalities, like that just can't be convinced.
Well, I think that's where you just gotta slap out the research.
Yeah. Just hit them in the face.
Pull out the facts. Show them the car facts.
But I feel like
That's all
that's
you
not
need.
even. I feel like there's a lot. I feel like people that are so like set in their opinions about things like that, though. I feel like even showing them the research,
They don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like then it's fake news all of a sudden.
So true.
But it's also like at that point, my mom, I would always like go into things like fists up, like ready to go, and my mom is like, you can't change the world, like you can't change everybody.
It's important that parents like you too.
Yeah.
And
So,
it's important to have that good relationship with them.
and so it's like
That's the hard part.
when they have that point where it's like they won't even listen to research, I'm like, well, just make sure that they're not like interfering with the class and they can be mad. But it's also like sometimes our career depends on whether or not the parents like us.
At that point, I'm like, I'm smiling at you, but I don't know how to put you to face.
Yeah. Completely disagree with yourself.
Be a server. Perfect.
What?
Be a server. You'll know how to do that perfectly. I've had so many, like, even working at daycare, it's like so many times I've had conversations with parents that like come up to me angry about things that literally are so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, just smiling like you are so stupid.
No, that's retail too.
Yeah,
The customers
retail.
complaining about the most stupid
Any
stuff.
customer service. Oh, yeah.
God.
I had a customer the other day complain that we charged $4.95 for a glass of wine at my work. And
That's
like,
cheap.
Yeah.
That's cheap. Yeah.
And
And
then
$4.50.
For what?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sure. That's good to know.
May not
and
be
then
best
there was-
mine, but hey, it's $4.50.
Get some brands, yeah, for $4.50. Yeah.
But and then there was another one who was complaining that we were selling bottled water for $1.50 when we also had free water with like cups and everything. But yeah.
You just can't please everybody. Moral of the
Yeah.
story here. Yeah.
Do you hear that one part in the video, Alex?
Yes, I did. Oh yeah, that was great.
Just
I
Abby.
totally know what you're talking
I thought you were
about.
attacking her again. I was like, it's time.
So, Alex, can you explain this one thing you
It's
said?
the blonde, I'm sorry.
I actually have something to say though. About the doctor. What's his name? Wine.
It's about the doctor was kind of like reappearing throughout the
Yeah,
movie.
that one. To where, like,
It's Dr. W.
okay.
Dr. Will.
To where he was like, you know, we have this idea in America that we have to have one language, but then when kids get to college, they spend thousands of dollars learning languages.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so true.
Yeah.
And so he's like, it just doesn't make sense you just start when they're young, so they don't have to do it later. Because, you know, it's a lot of money to when you could have done it when you were a kid, but also
learn
it's like you
better.
learn better
Yeah,
when you're
exactly.
a child
It's a lot easier.
than in your 20s, which is much harder.
Well, and after all those studies, I like that one in the video where they're like, it's best to start learning another language before you're 13.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wasn't even in high school at that point. And high school was when I started learning.
Yes, that was another thing I was thinking about. Like they teach you language in high school.
And you don't
After-
retain it.
After your
Yeah.
critical period.
Yeah.
Well, and
Your
also
critical
it's not the
period.
best environment either.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
also you can't learn a language sitting in a chair with someone
For 50
yelling at you.
minutes, 5 days a
This
week.
is how you
say this.
Yeah.
Well, I
Seriously,
think
that's
Spanish
not enough
conjugate
time.
and I literally just fought my teacher and everything. Because she was teaching us like Spain Spanish. I'm like, this is not gonna help us.
No.
So I fought her on almost everything. It was cool. It was cool.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was a fun class because of that. But yeah.
Man.
I mean, I've been to multiple countries and I don't know any of the languages. I wish I did.
Mhm.
Like it would have been so cool to be able to go to Barcelona and actually speak Spanish.
Yeah. Your
Like,
cultural horizons are just so much bigger
I
if
know-
you know different languages.
I know a little bit of a lot of languages, like just literally bare minimum of a lot of languages, to the point where I was able to survive. But it's like I want to have a conversation with the locals. Like I wanted to actually be able to like, you know, I didn't want to walk up in France and be like, je voudrais, and they'd be like, no, English. What do you want?
Yeah, stop there.
Fine, I'm sorry, I
Don't
tried. Like no, it's easier. And then I try to say it in French. They're like, no, what do you want?
Oh.
I'm like, I'm fine.
I liked in the video too that he was saying, you know, people are always complaining about how like China's economy is like slowly getting better than the U.S.'s. When like the U.S. had like the best economy for so long, and now like China's getting way ahead. They're like, you know, I feel like the big focus in this country, like, what do we do to make sure China like doesn't beat us? But the reason, you know, not the reason, but one of the reasons China is because they all learn multiple languages.
Yeah.
You know, they're all
Totally.
learning 3 to 4 languages.
Because they're able to interact with more of the world.
Yeah.
Like, if we know English, like, that's so
get it.
limited.
Like,
Yeah.
we can't earn all of our money in house. Like, it outside sources, like, you learned all the
Very sensibilist kind of viewpoint.
I was actually talking with Jennifer Green yesterday, and we're doing this project in one of my other cultural classes about how Haley Peters and I are doing a project on how the importance of cross-cultural experiences in order to become a cultural relevant teacher. And we were talking to Jennifer about traveling and why it's so important and everything. And she was basically just saying all of this, and she's saying that like when you travel, you are learning like different perspectives, and you're learning about different ways and different like you're just basically having all these like different opinions and like brilliant people like coming together, and it's like, why can't we do more of that?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, Finland. Why don't we go to Finland and see what they're doing with school? And why why don't we go see
Because
what?
we think our way is the best way.
Well,
That's such a
And
problem.
it's all denial.
And as soon as you get outside of the U.S., you realize that nobody else thinks that.
Mhm.
Nobody else thinks
I don't
that
think
America.
that's true though. Like maybe not. I feel like America is really like extreme in that sense,
Yeah.
but I think there are other, like specifically like white European countries that are kind of like that.
Actually,
I mean,
everyone,
they're the best.
everyone hates the United States.
Well,
I
I
shouldn't
know
say
everyone,
everyone, but what we're known for is our Hollywood and our music. That's what we're known for.
Yeah.
And our
Hollywood
food.
That's not what I meant though. I guess like
But
I think
all of our
like
food
this
is pulled
view
from
that
other
like what we do
cultures.
is
How
like
much we like to eat.
best and
That's
like
what
we're
I
the
mean.
best
Oh,
country,
yeah.
like that kind of
Mhm.
viewpoint.
Yeah.
Like I feel like other
Mhm.
countries have that viewpoint about themselves.
Oh, about
Like,
themselves.
You know, not about us. But,
Okay,
Like,
yes.
No. I meant like, you know, like I've seen a lot
Right.
of people like videos. I mean, I have not traveled, so don't quote me on this, man. But I mean, I feel like I've read a lot of things and like watched videos about like specifically like, you know, people in like England, like,
Yeah.
kind of having the same
Totally.
viewpoint.
Or Australians even.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's like where everyone needs to learn multiple languages and travel because then you learn that you know.
Maybe it's a colonialist. Like,
It totally
Yeah.
is.
yeah.
Just bringing it back to the fact that like English is a colonizing language. Have you guys seen Black Panther?
Not yet.
Oh,
Where-
so good. So
Where
good.
she's like,
Wait,
don't
no,
scare me like
don't
that.
give anything away from
Yeah.
Teddy.
I love
Don't
it
give
so
anything
much.
away from Teddy.
I didn't give away anything. It was just one line.
Nah, she called someone a colonizer.
Yeah, she called a white dude colonizer. And
I thought
like,
it was funny.
it was so funny. And it's just the fact that it's 2018 and that's the first movie that's actually blatantly called out white people as colonizers. And like a white movie that originated, not a white movie, but a movie that originated in America. Because it's like there are movies outside that'll call out America. Like from Europe and stuff, they'll straight up call out America for our shit. So, but it's like America actually doing something like that.
Yeah.
You guys, I saw a little piece with Jennifer Green yesterday.
Oh, cool.
So,
She would.
so we were talking about all this, and we were talking about how our history books are blaming Russians and Germans and all of them for everything that's ever happened. We're blaming,
What do you mean? But for what things?
Like wars and stuff.
yeah, so like wars and like an event that happened in history. It was never like the Cold War. It's always the Russians' fault.
Okay.
Russia did this, Russia did that. It's all Russians' fault.
Mhm.
Well, then you go over to Russia because she was like Ukraine, one of the Russian countries. And their history textbooks say it's all Americans' fault, and it's Americans did this and America did that. And, yeah, and it's like if we stop pitting each other against each other, we would all love each other.
Exactly.
We solved it, guys. We solved it.
Done.
Placing the blame game.
Yeah, and I think that like just being able to cross culture will help that and help that anger and that. But of course, until like
Get over themselves.
white angry
Yeah.
men get over themselves,
Yeah.
we're not gonna be able to control our own textbooks.
Mhm.
I also kind of, I don't know, I've had this conversation with a few of my friends before, and usually my male friends get very angry with me about it. But
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I'm like pretty convinced that, I don't know if you've like ever looked at like the Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx. Obviously communism in practice has never worked out.
Yeah.
However, if you read the book, I mean,
Essentially.
you
Yeah.
know, ideally in a perfect
Mhm.
world, it sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
Well, you
But
have to have a
it's
good rule.
never been tried by a woman. It's what I'm
Ooh,
trying to point out to my friends,
yeah.
which always makes my guy friends really mad that
Of
they
course
think
it
that
does.
you know, that I think I could rule a communist country, which I think I could.
It's not the
honestly.
first time a dude
But-
has ruined something. So.
Yeah.
right. No kidding.
I just feel like a lot of these problems, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of
No, I like that.
would be a problem if the majority of countries were being ruled by women.
Girl power.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a shift in thinking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how about those laws, guys?
That was really interesting because
Was it?
it's so, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
No. The laws themselves were not interesting.
Like, what laws were you reading?
That's it, like,
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Copy and paste.
What was interesting was that I felt like, granted, as a student, you don't know about a lot of the like behind the scenes stuff that goes on, like laws, but it seems like school districts have a lot of responsibility to support English language learners.
Mhm.
So if there's all these systems in place, then why are they still like not meeting standards at math and like not meeting standards on a bunch of other things? Like there's all these statistics flying around. It's like, what is there something that's not happening, or is there something else that needs to happen?
I think it's the way that they're going about helping these students. They're like, oh, well, we're gonna pull them out of class, and that's gonna be good enough, you know? Like they're just using the wrong methods, I think.
There's a lot of loopholes.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
we're gonna do it the easy way and see how it goes.
Also about like
Trying to save money as much as possible.
yeah, and then like there are standards, there are rules, but they still don't follow them.
Mhm.
Yeah, like with a lot of different things. I was just watching the CNN town hall thing about Parkland shooting. I don't know if you guys know.
Mhm.
And they were kind of talking about, you know, what are we going to do to keep our students safe? And like, I don't remember who talked about it. There was an NRA spokesperson. I think she mentioned it, that they have this standard, something for schools, but a lot of schools don't follow it. Like, so it's like, what else are they not following with like ELL stuff, like you were saying, like what's going on with resources and whatnot. So it's just like there's probably a lot of stuff they don't follow through with.
Even it's accountability.
I think it was Joy was saying that too the other day.
Even like the law that was phrased, it was like, this is the program that all schools have to do unless like it's not possible.
Yeah.
Which is like a huge loophole.
Yeah, so everyone's like, oh, I guess we can't do it. Yeah.
But
Maybe
maybe-
like that too, even.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, like the law says that students will be in the least restrictive environment possible, which means putting them in the general ed classroom with paras if necessary. That rarely ever happens.
Yeah.
I mean, the law says it has to, but it never does because it's like the least restrictive possible. You know, it's not like it doesn't specify they have to be in the gen ed. It says like the least restrictive possible. And so then the schools are like, well, like this is like what's possible for us. Like,
Mhm.
it's not specific enough, you know?
And maybe this can be a money question, unless you guys like already know the answer to it. But how are these? I know everything. How are these laws enforced? Because
Yeah, I like
there's
that.
gotta be some things not happening.
There's some person that goes around going, You're not.
No.
no.
Wrong.
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 I don't know what time we started this video.
6:03. The current time. We'll go back later.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question though. Was there any other notes you had about any of the things?
Oh, Teddy's going to her sheet.
I mentioned how, because obviously she asked like what bilingual schools are in the Whatcom County area,
Mhm.
and I was not able to find any.
Really?
Right? I was only able to find the ones that I knew. I knew that
I found
there's
three
Madison.
in Bellingham though.
That's
Or, like,
Skagit.
very far. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I found a couple in
Skagit
Skagit.
County, yeah, not around here.
There was, I know it's not the same, but it's the Spanish immersion program. I know it's not the same, we're looking for bilingual, but just the fact that I think that they're trying to get here.
Mhm.
That makes sense. So I think that because they have a couple Spanish immersion, one's in Meridian, one's in Evergreen, and then I think they're working towards something bilingual.
Yeah, there's a lot of in progress
Mhm.
schools.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know that also Northern Heights has like the sister school or what? Yeah, sister school where they like learn each other's language and they talk to each other and stuff.
Kosher does that too.
Girl,
And so does Wade King.
The IBL.
Yeah, Wade King does Mandarin. But, and I mentioned that in the post just because, because I kind of, it was really hard to find things about like schools, like district schools in the area, not just like private or anything. But schools in the area that did like dual language, but I knew of Wade King doing Mandarin, but I also knew that it wasn't like immersion or even dual language. It was they had someone come into the classes like a couple times a week
Yeah,
to teach
it's not bad.
Mandarin, and so it's it's completely isolated.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
here is the language, and then they go and do everything else in English.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought it was more of a program than that.
no,
I see
it's
what
like they
that
have a
is.
time slot throughout the day where they learn
Yeah.
Mandarin.
Mm.
Well, Evergreen even said like we are the first one in Bellingham to do the Spanish immersion. I don't know Meridian's its own school district, so but Evergreen is also not a public private.
Mm.
Yeah.
See, that's so surprising with like the amount of ELLs in Bellingham.
Mhm.
Like that's so ridiculous. To me.
Yeah.
Like, how could we just like not care about this population of students?
Well, and that makes me think how many laws are not being
Mhm.
placed or being
Enforced. Yeah.
Enforced.
Like watching this video, like to me it was so wild. Like it was amazing. It was so cool, but it was just like this wild concept to me. Like I never really thought about.
Yeah.
And then like home for me, the majority of the school is Hispanic. Like a lot, like much more than Bellingham. Like, much more. Just the area in general. And there's nothing like that. You know, not like dual language or I'm not sure about if they have any programs, but like ELL just about it as far as I know. They have paras, but I mean that's it with the students and then the parents' communication. That's about it. And it's just like, here you go.
I wonder how much of it's like a staffing thing, though. You know, like I feel like these schools are really cool. I'm like, I want to be a part of it, but clearly I can't because I only speak English. you
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's just like, you know, if there are a lot of teachers that would be willing to do it if there was a school that was like giving them that opportunity. Like
Yeah.
if there were teachers that were, you know, even equipped to do that.
Or if there was, it's like this seems so far beyond the resources that we have. But if those schools were able to be like, hey, come teach at our school, we will teach you the language that we want you to teach the kids, and have that. But it's also like that one teacher, she was comfortable enough in Mandarin to make the kids think that she did not know English,
Yeah.
which was really beneficial to the kids
Mhm.
because it forced them to use Mandarin around her. And so it's like there would be a disadvantage to that, but at least giving teachers the opportunity to become more well equipped in other languages
Mhm.
so that they could support even just like a bilingual student, just a single student in their classroom.
Yeah.
Like that's something.
I just feel like, I don't know, like I feel like all teachers should have to, maybe not have to, but like should at least have the opportunity to study like other languages or maybe like, I don't know, like if we wanted to take classes, I feel like that'd be a great thing to have districts offer. I feel like it's also kind of unrealistic to, teach teachers other languages for a situation like that, like a bilingual school. Like that takes decades to become that fluent in
Yeah.
something.
You can't be teaching
Especially
the
when you're not
students.
living in that country.
Yeah. You don't know it completely yourself, you know.
Yeah.
You're supposed to teach the kids.
Yeah, it's already hard enough for like me to teach science to kids
Yeah.
while I'm kind of learning the concept too.
Mhm.
Because it's like I didn't know a lot about solids and liquids before this. So yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
learning that.
It's just hard.
I think we're maybe just
I think we're good.
yeah. Any like final thoughts?
Just about mostly the laws and
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
Basically like summarizing. Yeah.
Like maybe like we ourselves like trying to hold our schools accountable. Like we have these
We all have
ELLs,
to
how are
be-
we gonna help
you
them?
have to be
Yeah.
principals now. You're being forced.
I know I'm a first year teacher, but I'm the principal now.
Yeah, like this is my school.
Look at me, I'm the captain. All right.